Welcome back. I'm Melanie. As a designer, oftentimes I'll get a question like, I have all this cool stuff, but I don't know how to display it. And there are some things that they make displays for, like for instance, coins or stamps or pressed flowers. Pretty much anything you want to collect, there is a staging device or an element that we use in order to display it to its best and highest. And sometimes there isn't. So if you're like me and you have a tendency to collect natural things wherever you go, shells, rocks, feathers, bones, dried flowers, just whatever it is that you love to collect, or if you like to collect it all, like some of us do. Remember, it's not hoarding if you can display it. Okay, so what do you do with them? Well, oftentimes this is what we come up with, right? Everything is in a basket or a bowl or maybe a box, and we tend to kind of just pile. But one of the things that happens is that if it's fragile stuff, like let's say you've collected a bunch of sand dollars, really small sand dollars, as they dry, they get brittle, they get fragile around the edges, and then the next thing you notice is your beautiful sand dollars have kind of crumbled into dust in the bottom of the thing here. I want to show you how I like to do this. I have a couple of these displays around the house, and it gives me immense pleasure every single time I look at them. I think about trips I was on, or walks, or hikes. It's a really nice way to collect texture, beautiful natural color that isn't, an artificial color. And for me, it brings everything inside. So, those natural elements that ground us and give us our humanness and our connection to our mother, they are always within my eye line because, like I said, I have a couple of these around the house. So here's what I like to do. I elevate everything that I can. I like to use just a nice square or cylindrical vase. You don't have to. You can use pretty much any kind of shape or texture that you want. But for me, I want as clean, modern, uninterrupted, uncluttered. I want these to be the star of what I'm looking at, not the glass itself. So I always choose things that are very smooth, very as modern as I can get. There's no pressed glass or cut glass or anything like that. Now, in order to do this effectively, I have found through the years that you need to have something in the middle so that things can kind of rest. Otherwise, what you end up with is this very strange looking palimpsest of things that you can't really enjoy or see. So I take another glass bottle and I put that right down into the center of the piece, like so. So this is kind of what you start out with, just like that. I love to have a few small things on the bottom. And by the way, just by gravity and shifting of things, that's where some of the small stuff is going to end up anyway. So you might as well start out right there. I take a nice long pair of chopsticks and I'll start taking out the things that I like, but that I don't feel are the most eye-catching. Like for instance, this is a pretty opalized little nautilus, but it's not really all that dramatic. I'll put that down in the bottom. I like to put in some things that will show maybe a little texture or color. And I like to add things that have shape, because the bottom shouldn't be something that we just ignore. That's the cat. Settle down, I'm going to put you outside. Where was I? Oh yes, okay. So don't forget here that you're going to see what's in the bottom. You see? You're going to see that, but it almost becomes just texture in the bottom of the glass. I have this very cool, I have no clue what, that I found. It looks like dried mushrooms, but I don't think that it is. I think it's like a seed pod, but I love it. So down it goes. And I've got this little piece of coral that came from a beach trip. Let's see, what else have I got that I can put in? Okay, here's something a little bigger, and it's a cool seed pod from a tree that I'm not sure what that's from, to be honest with you. A lot of times I have no idea, and that's one reason why I'll probably pick it up, because I don't know what it is and I'm fascinated with it. Let's see. I'm kind of take one of these, forget what you call these. Do you guys know? Do you guys know what we call these? Like, they're like, I don't remember. Anyway, down it goes. Down into the bottom. And so I'm gonna just build like that. So give me a second here, and I'm gonna just build the bottom, and then I'll show you what that looks like. Okay, so now if I take something larger like this, which has really great texture and color, I can choose to show the back of the scallop like so, or the front of the scallop. Now the cool thing is, depending on how I place this in the jar, if I turn it like this so that I'm looking at this side, when I put something else in, it'll kind of become a layer, which I dearly love. Okay, let's try that again. Which I dearly love. This is going to be a little rough to do with chopsticks, so we're going to do it just by hand. Okay, so let me show you what that looks like. Isn't that cool? Now I can put something here, and it will create this beautiful layer of texture and color. And I think I have a couple of these dried mums. I think I'll just put that right down in there, and let that be something kind of cool. Using my chopstick to move it around a little bit. Okay, so now let me show you. Isn't that cool? Okay, so I'm going to do this. I'm just building slowly with texture, with color, some larger elements and some smaller elements. And one thing I do like to do is to keep colors, especially if it's like a specific color, together. And I'll show you why in a minute. This is beautiful, yeah? Let's put that on the other side to start building our base here. And I've got some really pretty, oh yeah, here's another, oh, auger, that's what it's called, auger shells. Yeah, let's put another one in there, because those add this really neat element that's kind of almost architectural in its detailing, that I think is really pretty. Okay, chopsticks turned around, and let's see if I can hold this without just dropping it. Nope, I can't. Chopsticks don't like hard shells. Okay, now I've got a couple of other small things to kind of put down in and start building up. And I'm going to show you, like, I'm going to take them all in my hand so you can see. These are not what we're in the market for, like amazing shells, but they're little ones that I've picked up along the way. Sometimes they're gifts, but usually it's stuff I'm collecting. So you see, you're not looking at stunning color, but you are looking at some beautiful texture. So that's going to kind of fill out here in the bottom of the jar and give us a nice little base. And by the way, by the time you're done with this, you don't see that inner jar at all. It just becomes a place where everything can rest up against, so that your pieces aren't just falling in on top of themselves and everything becomes, like I said earlier, it kind of becomes this very strange dump instead of being stuff that you can look at and say, oh, individual pieces. That's so cool. And then I'm going to show you also how important these big pieces are here in a second. These are sand dollars, and we have to be really gentle with those because they will chip and eventually break apart. They're just super almost said super fragile. You can fill in the rest. That's kind of fun. Okay, here's a nice piece that's I want to be able to see. So I'm going to carefully slide this one in, right, like that. So now, turning this so you can see how that's starting to come together. I love it. Let's see, here's another piece that's again a seed pod from a tree, but just cool texture and color. So we're sliding that one in. So you see that it's kind of got this almost skull-like expression, which I think is a little creepy, but also very cool. Pinecone, because when you live in the desert, pine cones are things of magic and you cannot get enough of them. Seed pod that I think might look really cool right down in here to give us a little bit more there. And let's look at one of our beautiful silver dollars. Sweet little auger shell that can go in. And we've got another small one that I think is a good one. Okay, so we're just going to continue to build and to keep looking for texture and color. I think it's time to put something a little larger in. Oh, that glass needs to be just moved gently. There. Oh yes, I love that with the pine cone. Let's see, we've got this gorgeous piece of azurite. Let's bring that onto this side over here. So it's going to come in with our shells. Coral. It's a pretty polished rock. Kind of just an aggregate looking rock. I'm not sure exactly what that is, but I love the beautiful creamy color. And let's see, we've got this. Now this I know is a sycamore pod and is going to give us a cool look. This guy is a beautiful piece of petrified wood. I think we'll slide him in. Now I want you to notice what happens when you use a piece like that. Look at how that sort of begins to hide the bottle a little bit too. So you're seeing, I'm going to show you, I'm going to hold it up so you can really see it. You're starting to see how displaying it like this, you actually get to enjoy, especially your larger pieces, but each and every thing gets to be enjoyed. And then, like I said, don't worry about the glass. If you used a colored glass bottle, obviously you would have to deal with that, but if you're not doing that, here's an auger shell. I'm going to slide it in between the coral and the azurite. Again, just making that bottle kind of disappear into the background. Now I do have a couple of very fragile things. These absolutely phenomenal seed pods that I don't know what they come from or where they go, what tree they went to, but I love them. And then I've got these two super cool vertebrae from fish. Just found these at a lake excursion at Walker Lake in Nevada, and I thought, oh my God, they're so sculptural. I mean, that right there, doesn't that look like like a piece of art that somebody would hang on the wall or make jewelry from. Yes. So I treat these with care, and I put in everything that's really going to be heavy. I put those in first and let them kind of adjust. Feather from a woodpecker out in my yard. And since I love the birds, that can go in. I've got, let's see, another sand dollar that can slide down in here. And like I said, when I have color, I tend to keep it a little bit together. So I've got some stuff happening over here that's got these blues in it. So I think I'm going to put in this piece of sea glass that I got at a beach in Santa Barbara, and this gorgeous piece of turquoise that I picked up on a hike in the Gallardo Mountains. So now, if you look, you're going to see I'm sort of building this little bit of color here, this little bit of turquoise and aqua color that I like. And let's see here. How about this very cool seed pod? Now I can use his stem to kind of anchor him down in. And I've got this gorgeous shell. This mussel that comes along the Southern California coast has the most beautiful purple in it. God, they're so pretty. So I'm going to sort of stand that so we can see him in all his glory. And I've got one more, well, two more kind of heavy pieces. This is an absolutely amazing piece of coral that I picked up in Hawaii. And a snail shell that has that pretty lavender and purple kind of a cast to it along with the gold. That's going to go in on that side. And then I've got an auger here that's got that pretty gold and all. I'm going to just kind of slide that in. I've got little bibby. He can go in so he can layer. The same with this little bibby. Layer. Okay, now my last heavy thing is this gorgeous, look at that. Isn't that pretty? This I found on the beach in Mexico. So pretty. So a big piece like that can kind of hide our top of our bottle. I've got this nice big beautiful sea urchin that I'm going to put in like so. Now, because I'm not scared I will break them, I'll gently put these down in so that they create that fierce texture. We've got a lot of the bottle showing, so I'm going to take this, and this pretty. These were just flowers my husband gave me years ago, and I just kept some of them because I really love the color. So it's going to go like that. See? And this other really cool vertebrae, I'll do like this so you see that cool shape. Put in our little seed pods here for color and texture. And then this, which is not neat. I mean, it's so skeletal, but it's really a piece of dried seaweed on the top. And that's it. We have emptied. And now, even the footprint, especially if you live in a small place, look at how much footprint that is. But when you put everything to the vertical, isn't that so beautiful? And I can sit and enjoy them and rotate it, which is I do all year round. I rotate them around and I look and I'm just, I love it. All right, so now let's go put this in a place where it can be looked at and enjoyed.